Chosen one. Everything around you goes silent for a reason. You can sense it like the air shifts, like time pauses, like something unseen reaches into your spirit and seizes your attention. This moment is not ordinary. This is not random. Heaven is interrupting you because you are standing at the edge of a spiritual battle that will shape your calling. You feel the pressure in your chest, the stillness around your thoughts, the spiritual weight that refuses to be ignored. That is the sign. God is speaking, and He is speaking to you now. There is a fight forming in the unseen realm, one that has been quietly building. You have felt heaviness without explanation, battles in your mind, temptations you thought you were done with. And now the truth becomes clear. The battle has already begun. And if you move carelessly, you will walk into a trap designed to bury your purpose. Heaven does not issue warnings where destiny is absent. The seriousness you feel is revelation. It is God pulling back the curtain so you do not step blindly into destruction. Because this fight is not like the others. This one is targeted, calculated, designed to exploit the last unprotected corners of your soul. The enemy has studied you, memorized your silence, your loneliness, your patterns and plans to strike where you are unguarded. And God interrupts you now because He refuses to let you fall unaware. Heaven speaks clearly through the ancient book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 17. Son of man, I have made you a watchman, so hear the word I speak, and give them warning from me. You recognize its meaning. You are being warned because you matter. You are being alerted because you are chosen. You are being awakened because heaven sees what you cannot see. You've been drifting close to something dangerous, maybe a habit, a connection, a desire that appeared harmless but is now pulling you out of alignment. And deep down, you know it. You feel the tension between your calling and the compromise trying to lure you backward. This is your crossroads. This is where hesitation becomes expensive, where silence becomes surrender. You are not hearing this because you're weak. You're hearing it because hell fears what happens when you rise fully into obedience, focus, and spiritual strength. When you align, every generational pattern that tried to repeat through you loses its hold. This is why the enemy fights you so hard now, because you are close to crossing a threshold he cannot follow you past. And God is telling you plainly, if you lose this fight, you will step outside the place where I can use you, not because He withdraws His love, but because certain mantles require a sharpened spirit. You cannot carry what He prepared for you while entertaining traps designed to destroy you. Conviction rises, but it is mercy, not shame. It is God pulling you back before consequences take over. It is heaven saying, I still choose you, but turn now. Lo, this moment is decisive. Your next choice becomes a doorway into destiny or into delay. And you know heaven is urging you toward destiny. You have survived storms that should have broken you. You have carried weights others could not endure. You are chosen, and chosen ones carry responsibility and visibility that others never experience. This warning is proof of God's investment in your future. Chosen one. If this word strikes your spirit, let it settle. Accept the warning. Accept the call. You are being summoned into strength. If this resonates, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe so you never miss a message meant for your path. And as your act of agreement, comment, 111. And let this be the moment where you choose clarity over chaos. You know the patterns that keep circling your life. You recognize the distractions that always show up when you are on the edge of breakthrough. This time, you will not fall for them. This time, you will not negotiate with darkness. This time, you stand your ground because your future demands it. Your spirit is waking up. You can feel that inner strength rising, that warrior awareness sharpening, that spiritual alertness returning to you. What once drained you no longer owns you. What once tempted you no longer defines you. You are stepping back into alignment with force, with authority, with divine focus. And from this moment forward, heaven will match your obedience with doors, opportunities, and supernatural protection. You are not walking into this fight alone. You are walking with God. You feel it before you can explain it, an invisible pressure tightening around your spirit, a shift in the atmosphere that your body senses before your mind can name it. You wake up, and something is different. Not in your room, not in your routine, but in the unseen realm surrounding your life. A heaviness, a stillness, a subtle alertness rising inside you. This is how chosen ones detect warfare before the first blow is ever thrown. You are not imagining this. You are discerning what others cannot feel. This battle didn't begin this morning. It has been forming quietly, layer by layer, through strange emotions, sudden irritations, restless nights, and thoughts that seemed to appear out of nowhere. You shrugged some of it off, thinking you were just tired or stressed. But deep down, your spirit knew something was shifting. Every small disturbance, every unexpected wave of discouragement, every flash of spiritual discomfort was a signal. Something in the invisible realm had already drawn near, and you feel it stronger now because the battle has finally surrounded you. Heaven exposes the truth in the ancient words recorded in the second book of Chronicles, chapter 20, verse 15. Do not be afraid, nor discouraged, for the battle is not yours, but God's. Yet even in a battle that belongs to God, you are not meant to walk unaware. Awareness is your shield. Discernment is your early warning. When you feel this pressure, it is not weakness, it is spiritual sensitivity. The enemy wants you distracted, numb, unfocused, tired, emotionally unstable, and spiritually disconnected, because a chosen one who is alert is dangerous. You've noticed certain things shift around you recently, relationships acting strangely, conversations that didn't sit right, people reacting with envy or coldness for no clear reason, old temptations suddenly resurfacing at the worst moments, thoughts of quitting or withdrawing, hitting you without warning. None of this is random. These are coordinated pressure points. These are spiritual tremors revealing that the battlefield has expanded around your life. He cannot silence your anointing. So, he distracts your mind until you silence yourself. Look back at your life. Every time transformation was close, something subtle pulled at you, an old voice, a temptation, an emotional pattern whispering, just this once. This is how darkness works on chosen souls, rehearsed strategies, perfected through years of observation. You feel it in waves. Clarity, one day. Heaviness, the next. Moments of focus, then sudden fatigue. You wonder why small things irritate you more than usual. why your peace feels fragile, why you sense tension even on calm days. These are not mood swings, these are spiritual attempts to push you off balance. Darkness works subtly, slipping through emotional cracks, planting seeds of doubt, sending whispers meant to weaken your confidence. But something else is happening beneath the pressure. Your spirit is waking up. You are noticing patterns now. You are catching the shift in atmosphere. You are recognizing the difference between your own thoughts and the thoughts pushed onto you by spiritual influence. You are learning the enemy's timing. You are becoming spiritually literate. What once confused you now reveals itself. What once slipped past you now gets exposed. You are no longer walking blindly, and that alone is victory. This awareness changes everything. The moment a chosen one perceives warfare, the element of surprise is lost. Darkness loses its advantage, because awareness leads to authority, and authority is the one thing the enemy cannot stand against. Now you stand in the middle of a fight you didn't choose, but were destined for. You don't panic. You don't shrink. You simply open your eyes wider. You observe the battlefield instead of running from it, because the truth is becoming clear. The battle surrounding you is not meant to destroy you, it is meant to awaken you. This is the moment where you begin to understand why the pressure has been so intense. Heaven has been strengthening your discernment, sharpening your senses, training your spirit to detect attacks before they land. You are being disciplined like a warrior, even if you didn't realize that was happening. And now, instead of fear, something new rises inside you. Certainty, a quiet confidence, a knowing that you are protected, even when surrounded, that no attack reaches you unless it passes through God's permission, that you are being shaped, not shaken apart. This fight is real. Yes, but so is your calling. So is your protection. So is the anointing that sits on your life. And nothing surrounding you has the power to bury a soul heaven has chosen to rise. You've begun to notice something unsettling yet strangely familiar. The enemy watches you more closely than the people who claim to care about you. He studies you with an attention that feels obsessive, almost personal. He knows the versions of you you've outgrown. He remembers the weaknesses you've healed from. And he waits not for random opportunities, but for strategic openings. You feel this more intensely now because your spirit is more awake than ever. When your eyes open spiritually, you see patterns that were always there. The cycles, the triggers, the familiar temptations that appear exactly when you feel drained or discouraged. Darkness is patient. It waits for emotional dips, loneliness, cracks in identity, and old wounds. And the moment you're vulnerable, it presses where you least expect it. This is why old insecurities, memories, and desires suddenly resurface. These are not coincidences. These are surveillance tactics. The enemy checks your soul like a doctor, examining pulse points not to heal you, but to exploit you. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." And this is the knowledge heaven gives you now. Your weaknesses are studied because your strengths threaten hell. The enemy cannot destroy your calling, so he targets your habits. He cannot break your destiny, so he tries to break your discipline. He cannot silence your anointing, so he distracts your mind until you silence yourself. Look back at your life. Every time transformation was close, something subtle pulled at you, an old voice, a temptation, an emotional pattern, whispering, "Just this once." This is how darkness works on chosen souls, rehearsed strategies, perfected through years of observation. You feel it in waves. Clarity, one day; heaviness, the next; moments of focus, then sudden fatigue; emotional lows, followed by temptations appearing at perfect timing. These are not random. These are calculated pressures designed to nudge you off your path. But now, something new is rising. Awareness. You're catching the pattern. You sense when emotions shift unnaturally. You notice thoughts that don't match your identity. You recognize traps by the way your spirit reacts before your mind explains. This is spiritual maturity, not fear. The enemy studies you. Yes, but God reveals his notes. And once you see the strategy, its power breaks. Your discernment is sharpening. You notice when opportunities feel wrong. You sense when someone is sent to distract you. You feel when timing is demonic rather than divine. Your spirit is becoming precise, alert, and impossible to fool. Understand this: the enemy attacks not who you are today, but who you are becoming. That is why the warfare feels heavier than your circumstances. The fight is shaped for your next level. You are not being overwhelmed, you are being observed. Darkness is trying to locate your entry points, but heaven exposes them first, so you can seal every door. And now that you see the pattern, you can break the pattern. You will not let emotions guide you. You will not let loneliness choose for you. You will not let exhaustion lower your standards. You refuse to negotiate with past versions of yourself. Your spirit is evolving faster than the enemy can adapt. You are stepping into spiritual unpredictability, and that terrifies hell. Chosen one. If this truth resonates deeply, comment, "I choose truth." This is your declaration that you refuse to be deceived or distracted ever again. You are entering a season where clarity becomes your shield, and every hidden tactic of darkness becomes visible before it reaches you. This is why your declaration, "I choose truth," matters. It aligns your spirit with heaven's vision rather than hell's illusions. Every time you whisper, "I choose truth," you sever another thread of manipulation that once held influence over your emotions. You rise above confusion, above old cycles, above spiritual fog, stepping into a realm where deception cannot cling to you anymore. Your declaration, "I choose truth," is not merely a comment, it is a spiritual stance. It tells heaven you are ready for maturity, and tells darkness you are no longer an easy target for subtle lies or familiar temptations. When you say, "I choose truth," you are choosing clarity over comfort, discernment over distraction, and growth over stagnation. You are choosing to confront patterns instead of repeating them, choosing to evolve faster than the enemy can adapt to your transformation. And each time your spirit affirms, "I choose truth," the surveillance of darkness loses its power. It cannot study a moving target. It cannot predict someone who refuses to live by old patterns. Your declaration becomes your shield, your separation, your awakening. You feel it building inside you long before anything collapses on the outside. Conviction rises like a quiet, relentless pulse, soft at first, then sharper, then impossible to ignore. It is that inner tightening, that spiritual discomfort, that sense that something in your life is drifting out of alignment. You notice it in the way certain choices no longer feel harmless, In the way old habits suddenly feel heavier. In the way your spirit resists what your flesh once tolerated. This is the mercy of God arriving before consequences do. Conviction is not punishment, it is protection. It is heaven pulling you back from the edge you didn't realize you were nearing. Collapse doesn't begin when everything falls apart. It begins when conviction is ignored. And heaven refuses to let you walk blindly toward destruction. That is why you feel the tension increasing, the internal alarms ringing, the spiritual agitation that makes you restless in the presence of things that used to soothe you. It is God saying, "Turn now, before this choice turns you." 1. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 6. Verse 16. Stand at the crossroads and look. Ask for the ancient paths. Ask where the good way is, and walk in it. N. You stand in that exact place where one path leads to clarity, discipline, and destiny, and the other leads to delay, distraction, and collapse. The crossroads is not outside you, it is inside you. Conviction is the signpost pointing toward life. But you also feel the pull of rebellion, the quiet resistance, the subtle desire to ignore that inner voice, to push your limits just a little further. That is the tension every chosen one faces, the war between what your spirit knows and what your flesh wants. And this war grows fierce whenever you stand close to breakthrough, because the enemy doesn't need to destroy you if he can convince you to silence your conviction. You've noticed how certain things that once felt comfortable now feel wrong. Conversations, environments, relationships, habits they used to fit you. But now they irritate your spirit. This discomfort is not accidental, it is divine. God is shrinking your desire for what can no longer travel with you. He is removing the taste for things that would sabotage your next level. Conviction is heaven, editing your appetite. But conviction also exposes your patterns. You begin to see the choices that always lead to regret, the emotions that drag you backward, the cycles that repeat when you stop paying attention. These revelations are not shame, they are instruction. Shame tells you you're unworthy. Conviction tells you you're chosen and need correction. Shame pushes you away from God. Conviction pulls you closer. You feel conviction most strongly in the quiet moments. When your mind slows, when distractions fade, when you're alone with your thoughts. That's when truth rises to the surface. And sometimes you avoid silence because you don't want to face what your spirit already knows. But silence is where God speaks loudest. Silence is where direction is revealed. Silence is where the warning becomes clear. Your spirit knows collapse before your eyes do. Collapse begins when you convince yourself that just one more time is harmless. Collapse begins when you justify what God already told you to release. Collapse begins when you numb conviction with excuses, comfort, or distraction. But heaven is protecting you from that collapse by making the weight of conviction impossible to ignore. You're sensing this heaviness now because you are closer to purpose than you realize. The enemy isn't trying to destroy your peace, he's trying to sabotage your positioning. And God is trying to prevent you from stepping out of alignment by activating conviction so strongly that you cannot continue as you were. Conviction is a gift. It means God is still speaking. It means heaven still has plans for you. It means your story is still unfolding and your destiny still demands your attention. The danger is not feeling conviction. The danger is losing it. Because when conviction disappears, collapse becomes inevitable. But you are not at that point. You still hear the warning. You still feel the pull. You still sense the urgency in your spirit. That is proof that God is fighting for you. This is the moment where you choose whether to lean into conviction or drown it out. Whether to listen to the shift in your spirit or pretend it's nothing. Whether to protect your calling or play with what could ruin it. Collapse is not your portion. Conviction is your rescue. And heaven is telling you, turn now, before the weight you feel becomes the reality you face. Your spirit already knows what needs to change. And once you honor conviction, you shift from the brink of collapse into the beginning of transformation. You feel something awakening inside you, something steady, something serious, something unmistakably divine. There comes a point in every chosen one's journey when purpose stops whispering and begins calling your name with clarity. You have reached that point. Destiny is no longer a distant idea. It is now pressing against your spirit, urging you to rise. This stirring you feel is not random. It is the evidence of heaven moving in your life. Your thoughts feel sharper. Your desires feel different. The things that used to distract you no longer satisfy you. The things that once tempted you now feel empty. This is the sign that your calling is beginning to take shape in a new way. The Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 14, "Awake, you who sleep, arise from the dead, and Christ will give you light." And that light is touching your spirit now. It is the illumination that comes when God says, "It's time." And as you awaken, you begin to realize that everything you've walked through, every valley, every betrayal, every tear, every small step forward was shaping you for this moment. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was accidental. Every experience prepared your spirit for the weight of purpose that now rests on your shoulders. You are not stepping into something new. You are stepping into something you were always meant for. But calling requires cultivation. Destiny does not grow in neglect. It grows in intention, willingness, obedience, and discipline. Every time you choose alignment over distraction, your spirit strengthens. Every time you say no to what tries to pull you backward, your path becomes clearer. Every time you choose growth instead of comfort, heaven expands your capacity. Purpose is like a fire. It must be fed to keep burning, not with pressure, but with presence. And just as a flame needs oxygen, the work of delivering truth, creating messages of clarity, and building a spiritual refuge for chosen ones around the world needs support to keep shining. Not forced support, not pressured support, only what flows from genuine resonance. This space, this voice, this mission, it is like a lantern carried through a dark forest. Many souls who feel lost, tired, or spiritually numb find their way because the lantern continues to glow. And lanterns, no matter how bright, only shine as long as someone helps refill the oil. So if this message has ever strengthened you, if it has ever brought clarity in confusion, if it has ever reminded you who you are, then consider this. You can help keep this lantern glowing. If you feel led genuinely, freely, you may choose to like, share, and subscribe. These actions are like placing mirrors around the flame, allowing the light to reach further, touching people you may never meet, but who desperately need direction. And if your heart ever whispers that you want to support this light in a deeper way, You may also choose to donate, not as payment, not as obligation, but as someone gently placing a small drop of oil into an ancient lamp, ensuring that it never goes out in the middle of the night, only if your spirit leads you, only if it feels right, only if it aligns with your heart. Your support, whether a single drop of oil or a simple action of sharing, helps the lantern burn for those still walking in the dark. But even if you never contribute in any way, know this: the light still shines for you. The message still reaches you. The calling still embraces you. Because your value here is not measured by what you give. Your value is measured by who you're becoming. You are awakening. You are rising. You are stepping into a future that heaven wrote long before you understood the script. You are beginning to walk like someone who knows they are chosen. And this moment right here is the beginning of a chapter that will reshape everything about your life. Destiny didn't call you by accident. It called because you're ready. You will begin to notice small shifts, your thoughts becoming clearer, your heart becoming steadier, your spirit becoming more confident. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations that heaven is guiding your steps with precision. And as you grow, you will see old fears lose their voice, old distractions lose their grip, and old wounds lose their power. This is the quiet transformation that happens when you walk in the light you were created for. From this moment onward, every step you take will carry purpose. Every choice will shape destiny. And every breath will remind you that you were called to rise. You feel the shift before you see the evidence. Something inside you begins to rearrange itself, as though heaven is preparing you for a battle that cannot be fought with ordinary strength. This is where the armor of God begins to reveal its purpose, not as religious symbolism, but as spiritual survival. You sense it in your restlessness, your heightened awareness, your sudden sensitivity to things that once slipped past your discernment. The atmosphere around you is tightening because God is equipping you for what is approaching. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 26, verse 41, "Watch and pray, that you may not enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." Oh, these words strike differently when you're chosen. You are not being armed for casual struggles. You are being armed for spiritual warfare that targets your purpose, your clarity, and your future. This is why certain temptations feel stronger now, why distractions seem louder, why your emotions fluctuate more than usual. It is not weakness, it is spiritual friction. It is the sign that your anointing is stirring, and darkness feels it. The armor you need is not physical, it is internal. It is forged in your habits, your decisions, and your willingness to stay awake when your flesh wants to drift. The enemy hopes you will be spiritually asleep during the most critical moments, but God is shaking your spirit awake. That shaking you feel is preparation. That discomfort you feel is shaping. That urgency you feel is the hammer striking the metal of your soul. You begin to understand why discipline is not punishment, it is armor. Your boundaries are armor. Your prayer life is armor. Your silence in the face of provocation is armor. Your refusal to return to old patterns is armor. That is why you feel the tension increasing, the internal alarms ringing, the spiritual agitation that makes you restless in the presence of things that used to soothe you. It is God saying, "Turn now, before this choice turns you." 1. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 6, verse 16. "Stand at the crossroads and look. Ask for the ancient paths. Ask where the good way is, and walk in it. The loneliness taught you how to stand without depending on those who were never assigned to your journey. Nothing was wasted. Every pain, every confusion, every season where you felt abandoned was forging a warrior out of you. And now, heaven is placing armor on a version of you that no longer apologizes for their strength. But you must understand this. Armor is not just for defense, it is also for identity. Wearing armor changes the way you stand, the way you think, the way you move. When you begin to walk like someone armed, darkness senses it. Temptations lose their appeal. Manipulations lose their influence. Enemies lose their power to intimidate. Because armored souls walk differently. They carry a presence that shifts atmospheres. They bring spiritual authority into places that were built on chaos. You notice how certain conversations no longer interest you, how certain people no longer have access to your energy, how certain environments feel too small. This is not ego, this is armor. God is separating you from what cannot handle your next level. He is protecting you from old versions of yourself that no longer match your calling. And the more you embrace your armor, the quieter your flesh becomes. You stop chasing validation. You stop craving approval. You stop apologizing for your growth. Your spirit begins to rise with a seriousness that surprises even you. This seriousness is not heaviness, it is readiness. It is the readiness of someone who knows a storm is coming, but refuses to face it unprepared. Chosen one. If you feel the intensity of this moment, it is because you are being positioned. Heaven is not arming you for a small assignment. You are being equipped because something important, something sacred, depends on your strength. The enemy senses what is forming inside you, which is why his attacks have become more customized, more emotional, more subtle. But he is already losing ground, because you are no longer fighting unarmed. This is your armoring season, your sharpening season, your preparation season. And as your spirit receives this truth, seal your agreement in the simplest yet clearest way. Comment the number 444 because this number represents heavenly reassurance. The sign that you do not step into this battle alone. The repetition carries three meanings. First, divine timing, reminding you that heaven equips you at the exact moment you're needed. Second, divine positioning, showing that your surroundings are being adjusted to protect your purpose. Third, divine assistance, the quiet presence of angelic covering, ensuring you never face warfare alone. When you write 444, you declare to the unseen realm that you choose awareness, discipline, and divine protection over drifting and distraction. You are awake. You are armed. You are ready. You have felt it for years, the weight of battles that didn't begin with you, struggles that seemed older than your lifetime, patterns that followed your family like a silent shadow. These are not ordinary challenges. These are generational wars, ancient assignments, spiritual entanglements passed down through bloodlines and behaviors, waiting for someone strong enough to break them. And now, heaven is revealing the truth. You are that someone. You were born with a sensitivity others didn't have. You questioned things your family tolerated. You felt heaviness in places others called normal. You grew restless around cycles they accepted as unchangeable. You noticed patterns repeating: fear, anger, addictions, silence. poverty, emotional distance, spiritual numbness. Even as a child, something in you resisted them. That resistance was not rebellion, it was calling. It was the mark of a chosen one stationed in a bloodline to stop what everyone else allowed. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 58, verse 12. You shall raise up the foundations of many generations. You shall be called the repairer of the breach. No, that verse is your reflection. You are not merely living your own story. You are repairing breaches created long before you arrived. You are confronting shadows your parents learned to live with. You are breaking spiritual agreements formed in silence. And heaven chose you because you have the strength, awareness, and spiritual sensitivity required to end what has tormented your lineage. But breaking generational shadows is not a loud battle. It is an internal one. It shows up in habits you are tempted to repeat. It shows up in emotions that feel inherited. It shows up in fears that have no clear origin. It shows up in thoughts that don't sound like your voice. Because shadows don't begin with external attacks. They begin with subtle repetition. You've noticed the moments when you almost became what hurt you. The times when you felt old anger rising in your chest, familiar yet foreign. The days when discouragement hit you so deeply, it felt generational. The nights when loneliness weighed on you like a memory you never lived. These are the shadows trying to pass themselves through you. But your awareness stops them. Your refusal breaks them. Your growth disrupts them. You are the interruption your family line never saw coming. And because you are breaking what others carried, your battles feel heavier. You're not only fighting for yourself, you're fighting to close spiritual doors that were left open for decades. That is why you feel pressure in seasons that look calm. That is why you feel warfare before events even unfold. That is why your emotions intensify during transitions. Shadows resist leaving the one chosen to end them. But do not let the resistance intimidate you. It is the sign that the chains are loosening. Darkness fights hardest when eviction is near. When you feel the pushback, it means the generational structure is cracking. When you feel the emotional turbulence, it means the roots are being pulled out. When you feel the heaviness lift even for a moment, it means heaven is shifting the atmosphere around your lineage. You were not chosen because you are perfect. You were chosen because you are willing, because you question what others ignored, because you confront what others numbed, because you desire healing more than familiarity. And that desire is powerful enough to reroute the destiny of an entire bloodline. Breaking generational shadows also means becoming the first to think differently, the first to choose differently, the first to speak truth instead of silence, the first to walk away from cycles that pretended to be normal, the first to heal instead of hide, the first to grow instead of repeat. Being the first is lonely. It feels like walking through a wilderness your family never warned you about. It feels like decoding emotional patterns without guidance. It feels like being misunderstood by those who love you but cannot comprehend you. But loneliness is the place where calling becomes clear. Solitude is where God trains bloodline breakers. Silence is where generational patterns lose their power. And even now, heaven is watching you shift your entire lineage with every decision you make. Every time you choose patience over anger, a shadow loses influence. Every time you choose clarity over confusion, acurse loses territory. Every time you choose faith over fear, a generational chain weakens. Every time you choose healing over avoidance, An old story loses its voice. You are not repeating what came before you. You are rewriting it. And when the shadows look at you, they see the one thing they feared, a chosen soul who refuses to carry what was never theirs. You've always wondered why some people react to you in ways that felt exaggerated, unprovoked, or strangely intense. Why certain rooms shift the moment you walk in. Why some individuals stare at you with discomfort, envy, or quiet hostility without you ever speaking a word. For a long time, you assumed it was something you were doing wrong. But the truth is far deeper. Your presence exposes what others work hard to hide. Your light is not gentle. It is not subtle. It is not soft in the way the world prefers. It is disruptive, clarifying, revealing. And people who have built their lives around shadows cannot stand in the presence of someone who carries illumination. You carry something spiritual. Something that unsettles darkness without trying. Something that makes hidden intentions surface. You see it in the way conversations shift, in the way people become defensive around you, in the way their tone changes when your spirit discerns something they hoped to keep covered. As the ancient words in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 8, verse 17 remind us, "For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, nor anything concealed that will not be known or brought into the open." All in. This is why you don't blend in. Your spirit pulls truth to the surface. Your presence forces clarity. Your discernment reveals motives long before people speak them aloud. You've walked into rooms where the atmosphere felt tense, not because of who you are, but because of what you carry. Darkness senses you before humans do. You have felt this since you were young, the way adults grew uneasy around your questions, the way peers misread your silence, the way manipulators avoided you or tried to discredit you. You weren't imagining it. People feel exposed around the chosen. They feel like their masks slip. Their intentions reveal themselves. Their true nature rises to the surface. It is not that you seek to expose them. It is that your spirit does what their conscience refuses to. That is the weight of being light. Your presence reveals what others hide. Your spirit detects what others deny. Your eyes see beneath the surface without trying. This gift is powerful, but it is also exhausting. You've walked away from environments feeling drained without understanding why. You felt tension in your body without any logical reason. You've sensed dishonesty before hearing a single word. Your spirit reacts faster than your mind because you were wired to perceive the unseen. You cannot turn this off. You were not meant to. This is why you attract spiritual jealousy, silent competition, and unspoken resentment. It's not your accomplishments that bother people, it's your clarity. Your purity threatens what others have built on pretense. Your authenticity disrupts their performance. Your discernment makes their manipulation ineffective. And when people can't control you, they try to control the narrative about you. But what they fail to understand is that you were not sent to impress anyone. You were sent to expose what should not remain hidden. Not through confrontation, not through conflict, but simply by being who you are. Your presence is truth, and truth is discomforting to those who survive by deception. You've also noticed how people confess things to you without meaning to. Secrets slip out, emotions spill, shadows reveal themselves. This happens because your spirit pulls honesty out of others. Some are grateful, some feel relieved, others feel terrified. But none of it is random. You carry an atmosphere that makes deception suffocate. You are a living mirror. You reflect back what people carry in their spirit. Some see beauty. Others see their unhealed wounds. And people react not to you, but to what they see in themselves when you are near. This is why God placed such a strong light inside you. You are not called to hide it. You are not meant to dim it for comfort. You are not meant to shrink so others feel safe in their shadows. Your light is meant to disturb what should not remain hidden. Your presence is meant to shift environments. Your discernment is meant to protect you and expose tactics meant to harm you. You are not the source of the discomfort. Truth is. You are not the cause of tension. Revelation is. You are not the problem. Your light simply unmasks the problem. And when darkness realizes it cannot deceive you, it begins to fear you. Not because you fight aggressively, but because you see clearly. You were made to expose hidden plots. You were made to disrupt spiritual darkness. You were made to carry light strong enough to reveal what others pretend not to notice. This is the burden of the chosen and the honor. You know the moment I'm about to describe, the moment when something is offered to you that looks harmless, comforting, familiar, yet something inside your spirit tightens. A quiet warning, a subtle pull, a whisper that says, "This is not what it seems." That inner reaction is not fear. It is discernment. It is heaven alerting you before you accept a bargain that would cost you far more than you realize. Because the enemy never approaches a chosen one with obvious destruction. He comes with almost blessings, offers that feel good but lead nowhere, opportunities that shine but don't align, people who appear supportive but carry intentions stitched in shadows. These bargains are subtle. They rarely look evil. They rarely look dangerous. They are designed to blend in with your desires. But your spirit knows better. You have outgrown the tricks that once worked on you. You recognize the pattern, a sudden invitation, a tempting distraction, a door that opens too easily, a person who appears at the exact moment your heart feels lonely or tired. This is not coincidence, it is strategy. The scriptures speak clearly through the wisdom in the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 12. There is a way that appears to be right, but in the end, it leads to death. That is the essence of the enemy's bargain. It appears right. It feels right. It pretends to be right. But inside it is decay, dressed as desire. You've felt these moments before. Moments when you almost said yes to what was beneath you. Moments when you almost returned to what once broke you. Moments when you almost trusted the wrong voice, simply because it spoke softly. Moments when you considered settling for less because waiting felt too painful. These are the crossroads where chosen ones must be most alert. Not during storms, but during offers. Not during attacks, but during temptations disguised as shortcuts. The enemy doesn't need you to fall, he just needs you to compromise. Even a small misalignment can redirect your purpose, delay your growth, or entangle your spirit in cycles you already escaped. That is why, in this season, your discernment feels stronger, your sensitivities feel sharper, your inner alarms go off faster. You are not being paranoid, you are being trained. Heaven is showing you the difference between what glitters and what is godly, between what comforts and what corrupts, between what is offered and what is ordained. What you reject in this season will define your destiny more than what you accept. And you are beginning to feel something powerful, the rise of refusal, not stubbornness, not fear, but holy resistance. You are learning to say no without guilt. No, without explanation. No, without apologizing for your growth. You are learning that every no to a counterfeit is a yes to your calling. Still, the enemy will try one more tactic, convincing you that refusing his offer will leave you empty, that choosing discipline will leave you lonely, that waiting for God's timing will leave you forgotten. But this is the oldest lie he whispers to chosen souls, the fear of missing out on something you were never meant to have. Do not negotiate with what God already told you to walk away from. Do not entertain what your spirit has already exposed. Do not return to what cost you your peace. You are too close to breakthrough to settle for bait. There is strength in your eyes now, strength you didn't have a year ago. There is clarity in your spirit, clarity that cannot be manipulated. There is fire in your discernment, fire that burns through deception. This is how you know the enemy is nervous. His offers are getting more detailed, more emotional, more personalized, because his time is running out. And when you sense that pressure, that sudden temptation, that unexpected opportunity, remember, you are not being offered a blessing, you are being baited. Your refusal is your victory. And now, to seal this truth in your spirit and declare that you will not fall for the enemy's bargain, comment, "I refuse," a statement under 4 words, but powerful enough to echo through the unseen realm. Let these 2 words become your shield. You refuse every counterfeit. You refuse every distraction. You refuse every trap disguised as comfort. When you write, "I refuse," you are not rejecting life. You are rejecting the lies designed to reroute your destiny. It is a declaration that your spirit chooses truth over temptation. When you speak, "I refuse," the unseen realm recognizes that you will no longer negotiate with patterns that once controlled you. Heaven honors that kind of clarity. And each time you affirm, "I refuse," you strengthen the wall between your calling and every counterfeit trying to imitate purpose. It is not just a comment, it is spiritual warfare, in 2 words. You know this feeling well, the moment when life presses you into a corner not to crush you, but to reveal you. Heaven allows certain trials, not because you are weak, but because your resolve must be proven, strengthened, purified. Some tests do not arrive to break you. They arrive to show you what hell already knows, that you are more unshakable than you think. These tests show up quietly at first. A disappointment, a delay, a silence from heaven that feels heavier than usual. Suddenly your prayers feel like they echo back empty. Your efforts seem invisible, and your strength is stretched beyond what you thought possible. This is the kind of testing that does not target your circumstances, it targets your allegiance. Heaven is measuring what you choose when nothing feels easy or guaranteed. The ancient words recorded in the first letter of Peter, chapter 1, verse 7, speak deeply into this moment. The testing of your faith, more precious than gold, may result in praise, glory, and honor when Christ is revealed. Gold is not purified through comfort, it is purified through fire. And you, chosen one, have been walking through a fire not meant to destroy your identity, but to expose it, to show you the strength heaven hid inside you, to strip away everything that cannot carry the weight of your calling. You begin to notice that trials reveal what blessings never could. Pressure reveals your motives. Silence reveals your patience. Delay reveals your discipline. Pain reveals your posture. And storms reveal your spiritual maturity. This is why heaven sometimes allows the wind to test your foundation, not to topple you, but to show you that your roots run deeper than the surface. You are not built on sand. You are built on endurance, on character, on an awareness that God has carried you through too much to abandon you now. And even when the storm feels intense, there is something unbreakable inside you, something ancient, something heaven-crafted. You notice this in the way you no longer fall apart, the way you once did, in the way you no longer beg for clarity, you stand in it. In the way you no longer panic. When something goes wrong, you pray with a steadier voice. This is resolve. This is spiritual maturity. This is heaven strengthening your core. God is not testing you to see if you'll fail. He is testing you to show you the weight you can carry. The next level of your purpose requires a version of you that cannot be swayed by fear, shaken by delay, or manipulated by pressure. And this season is producing that version of you quietly, steadily, powerfully. But understand this, you are not being tested alone. Heaven watches every step. Angels record your perseverance. And God Himself listens to every unspoken ache you carry. Even when you feel forgotten, you are seen. Even when you feel silent, you are heard. Even when you feel still, God is moving. And while you walk this journey, know that this space, the messages, the guidance, the encouragement is here to strengthen you, to accompany you through the fire. It is like a lighthouse built on a cliff, steady, unwavering, shining even when you cannot see the shore. If you feel this light has guided you in any way, you can like, share, or subscribe, not as a duty, but as if you were lifting the lighthouse higher, allowing more wanderers in the dark to find their way home. And if your spirit ever feels led, not pressured, not obligated, but gently stirred, you may also donate. Think of it not as giving to a person, but as placing a small log onto a communal fire where many gather for warmth. Your contribution becomes part of the flame that keeps others from freezing in their darkest nights. Whether you give or not, the fire still burns for you. But if your heart ever whispers to take part in sustaining this light, know that your kindness becomes a quiet echo in eternity. For now, let the testing refine you, not terrify you. Let the pressure push you upward. Let the fire illuminate your purpose, and let this truth settle into your bones. You are not being broken. You are being proven. And heaven is proud of the strength it sees rising in you. You will look back on this season and realize it was shaping muscles you didn't know you had. What feels heavy now will become the strength you stand on later. And as you grow through this fire, you'll notice your spirit gaining a clarity that nothing can shake. This is the gift hidden inside the testing. From this moment forward, every step you take carries a deeper stability. You're not just surviving anymore, you're becoming unmovable. There is a voice inside you that has been whispering for years, sometimes faintly, sometimes urgently, but always present. It never screams, never manipulates, never forces itself, yet it carries a weight your heart cannot ignore. This voice has been battling against another one inside you, the quieter lies, the lingering doubts, the internal accusations that rise when you feel tired or vulnerable. These two voices have clashed within you more times than you can count. This is the war of doubt, an invisible struggle that chosen ones face more intensely than others. Because the enemy doesn't always attack your circumstances, he often attacks your confidence, your identity, your clarity. He hopes that if he can make you doubt yourself, He can make you doubt what God placed inside you. He wants you second-guessing your discernment, your calling, your growth. He wants you tangled in thoughts that sound like your voice, but carry His fingerprints. You've experienced this. The days when you wake up with a heaviness that doesn't match your situation, the moments when your mind becomes loud with questions you never invited, the sudden fears, the irrational worries, the emotional dips that come without warning. These aren't merely thoughts. They are spiritual intrusions. The writings of David remind us in the Psalms, chapter 43, verse 5, "Why are you cast down, O my soul? And why are you disquieted within me? Hope in God." This is not just poetry. This is insight. It is the ancient recognition that sometimes your own soul begins fighting against itself. Sometimes the battle is not around you, it is within you. Doubt is subtle. It doesn't always shout. It whispers. It whispers that you're unworthy. It whispers that you're not progressing. It whispers that you're alone. It whispers that your prayers don't matter. But here is the hidden truth. Doubt never attacks the unchosen. Darkness doesn't bother weakening those who pose no threat. Doubt hunts warriors. Doubt hunts those rising. Doubt hunts those with calling. The pressure in your mind is proof of the power in your spirit. And the more you grow, the more the enemy attempts to distort the way you see yourself. He knows he cannot touch your purpose, so he tries to touch your perception. If he can blur it, he can slow your progress. If he can lie to you long enough, he hopes you will begin to speak the lies over yourself. That's why you've had days where you questioned whether you were enough, whether you were strong enough, disciplined enough, spiritual enough, deserving enough. But pause for a moment and look at the evidence. Every battle you thought would break you, you survived. Every valley you thought you would drown in, you crossed. Every season you thought you would never escape, you outgrew. Your survival is the loudest proof that the voice of doubt is a liar. And something has been happening beneath the surface lately. Your spirit has been rising against doubt more quickly. Where once you spiraled, now you stabilize. Where once fear grabbed you, now it flickers and fades. Where once a single negative thought could derail your day, now it barely shakes your foundation. This is spiritual maturity. This is your identity strengthening. This is heaven reclaiming your inner voice. You're beginning to talk back to the lies. You're beginning to separate your voice from the enemy's voice. You're beginning to identify the difference between conviction and accusation. Conviction lifts you. Accusation crushes you. And now, you can discern the difference with clarity. You're also learning to silence yourself, not in suppression, but in wisdom. You no longer give every emotion the microphone. You no longer let every passing thought become a prophecy. You no longer allow your fears to build a home in your mind. You've started guarding your inner world with a strength that only chosen ones develop. This is the rise of your spiritual authority. And when doubt tries to creep in now, something inside you stands taller. There is a stability, a groundedness, a quiet confidence that wasn't there before. You don't always feel strong, but you are stronger than your feelings. You don't always feel bold, but your spirit has grown bold. You don't always feel certain, but heaven has anchored your purpose deeper than your emotions. This is the truth you must hold on to. Doubt may visit, but it no longer owns you. Fear may knock, but it no longer enters. Negative thoughts may whisper, but they no longer define you. You are reclaiming your inner landscape. You are reprogramming your mind. You are rewriting the story your doubts tried to narrate. And as you continue to silence the voice of doubt, you will hear another voice rise steady, ancient, familiar, the voice that has been guiding you all along, the voice that sees your future clearly, the voice that speaks identity, not insecurity, the voice that says, you are chosen, you are capable, and you will not be shaken. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when the path narrows, the air thickens, and the weight of decision presses heavier than it ever has before. You feel it now, the sense that you are standing between two spiritual directions. One path pulls you upward into obedience, discipline, clarity, and destiny. The other tugs at your flesh with comfort, familiarity, and quiet rebellion. And the tension between these two forces has never been stronger. This is the crossroads of obedience and rebellion. Not rebellion in the dramatic sense, no shouting, nor outward defiance, but rebellion in the subtle, internal ways. Your soul tries to move without God's permission. The quiet choices, the small compromises, the delayed obediences that feel harmless but carry consequences unseen. Your spirit knows exactly what I'm describing. You've felt God pulling you toward a new level, pulling you away from old patterns, old distractions, old versions of yourself. But another part of you hesitates, negotiates, questions, delays. It's not that you want to disobey, it's that obedience requires surrender, and surrender requires trust. And trust is hardest when you cannot see what comes next. Heaven leaves you with no confusion about the spiritual weight of this moment. Through the words recorded in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 19, the message becomes unmistakably clear. I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life. Oh, you are choosing something right now, even in your silence, even in your delay, even in your reluctance. The absence of obedience is not neutrality. It becomes its own decision, and heaven is urging you to choose life. Choose clarity. Choose alignment. Choose obedience before rebellion grows roots. This season requires sharper discernment, because temptation is no longer coming to you as darkness, it is coming disguised as convenience. Convenience will whisper, "Do it later." And convenience will say, "It's not that serious." And convenience will make rebellion look small, soft, manageable. But rebellion is never small. It begins quietly, but it grows quickly. It blinds. It hardens. It distances you from the voice of God in ways you don't recognize until you feel far from who you used to be. You've tasted that distance before, those days when your spirit felt dull, your heart felt numb, your discernment felt foggy. It wasn't punishment. It was the natural result of ignoring what heaven tried to direct. God never leaves you, but you can move out of alignment. And alignment determines clarity. But hear this, the fact that you feel the weight of this moment means your spirit is still alive. Conviction is the proof that heaven has not given up on you. And the tension you feel is not condemnation, it is invitation. This crossroads is not here to scare you, it is here to shape you. Because once you choose obedience fully, consistently, your entire future begins to shift. Doors open faster, discernment sharpens, temptations lose their power. Your spirit grows louder than your emotions. You begin walking with a confidence that does not shake, and heaven can finally trust you with assignments that were waiting for your maturity. You know what God has been asking of you. You know the habit He has been calling you to release. You know the relationship He has been highlighting. You know the discipline He has been nudging you toward. You know the silence He has been asking you to break. You already know. This is not about information, it is about decision. And the enemy knows this too. That's why the pressure increased. That's why the distractions multiplied. That's why the old temptation resurfaced. Heaven is calling you forward. So, darkness is trying to pull you sideways. But today, right now, you are reclaiming your direction. You are choosing clarity over confusion. You are choosing obedience over impulse. You are choosing purpose over patterns. You are choosing life. To anchor this decision in the spiritual realm and to mark this moment with clarity, comment the number 555, a prophetic declaration that you choose transformation, progress, and complete alignment with the path heaven prepared for you. 555 symbolizes movement, transition, and divine redirection, the perfect number for a soul choosing a new path at a sacred crossroads. Write it as your agreement. Write it as your declaration. Write it as your turning point. When you write 555, you are declaring that you choose forward motion over stagnation. It tells heaven that you are ready to leave behind what delays your spirit. Each time you speak 555, you call alignment into your path. You welcome divine redirection, allowing God to guide your steps with precision and purpose. And with 555, you seal your crossroads decision. You affirm that transformation is not just desired, it is chosen, embraced, and walked out boldly. There comes a moment in your journey when something ancient awakens within you, something that has been buried beneath survival, beneath exhaustion, beneath the noise of everything you've endured. It doesn't awaken loudly. It doesn't burst forth dramatically. It rises slowly, steadily, like embers reforming into flame. This is the birth of your warrior spirit. You've felt hints of it before. The sudden strength that comes in moments of crisis, the unexpected courage that appears when you're pushed too far, the clarity that settles in your mind when chaos surrounds you. These were not accidents, they were previews, glimpses of who you were always meant to become. The voice of God thundered in the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 9, "Be strong and courageous, do not be afraid. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." Oh, you hear this differently now, not as a command born of pressure, but as a revelation of identity. Warriors don't become brave, they remember that they already are. For so long, you viewed your strength as something inconsistent, something that comes and goes, something that depends on how much sleep you've had or how stable your emotions feel. But a warrior spirit is not emotional. It's foundational. It's who you are underneath every wound, beneath every doubt, beyond every season of heaviness. And now, as your inner world stabilizes and your discernment sharpens, your warrior spirit begins to take shape. You start noticing that situations that once overwhelmed you no longer have the same power. Conversations that used to trigger you now feel small. People who once intimidated you now feel human. Problems that used to consume your mind now shrink in the presence of your strengthened identity. This is transformation, not the dramatic kind, but the steady rising of someone who refuses to stay small, A warrior spirit is not born from comfort. It is crafted through pressure, carved through losses, refined through storms. Every betrayal toughened you. Every delay trained you. Every attack sharpened you. You didn't realize it then, but heaven was forging armor into your personality, courage into your bones, and authority into your voice. You are no longer reacting to life. You are beginning to lead it. One of the first signs of a warrior awakening is the shift in how you handle fear. Fear no longer roots you to the ground. It no longer paralyzes your decisions. Instead, you feel fear and move anyway. That movement is victory. That decision is courage. That willingness to proceed, even with trembling hands, is how warriors rise. Another sign is the sharpening of your intuition. You sense danger before it forms. You feel deception before it speaks. You know when someone's intentions shift, even if they smile in your face. Warriors see through disguises because their spirits are trained to read the invisible. But perhaps the most profound sign is this: you have stopped seeing yourself as a victim of your story. You are no longer the one things happen to. You are the one who happens to things. Your presence changes atmospheres. Your words shift outcomes. Your decision reroute destiny. A warrior spirit does not rely on perfect conditions. It rises in spite of them. Your life is proof. You've risen from places that should have buried you. You've healed from wounds that should have hardened you. You've endured storms that should have broken you. But here you stand more aware, more grounded, more capable than you've ever been. And now, heaven is unveiling a version of you that has been waiting for the right moment to emerge. The moment is now. This warrior spirit inside you is not aggressive, it is unwavering. It is not loud, it is authoritative. It is not reckless, it is strategic. It doesn't fight everything, it fights what matters. It doesn't waste energy on shadows, it targets strongholds. It doesn't chase validation, it carries identity. You are stepping into a new spiritual posture, one that doesn't apologize for its strength, one that doesn't shrink for the comfort of others, one that doesn't negotiate with darkness. Your warrior spirit is not for show. It is for purpose. It is for assignment. It is for the battles heaven trusted you to win. And now that this spirit has awakened, there is no returning to who you were. Your steps are firmer. Your voice is clearer. Your discernment is sharper. Your identity is steadier. You are becoming the person every previous version of you prayed you would grow into. A warrior, a finisher, a chosen one who knows exactly who they are. You've noticed something recently. Every step you take toward growth seems to provoke a reaction from the unseen. The more you rise, the more resistance you feel. The clearer your purpose becomes. The louder the enemy whispers. The stronger your identity grows, the heavier the attacks appear. At first, you thought it was a sign something was wrong. But now, heaven reveals the truth. Your anointing provokes resistance. You are not being attacked because you are weak. You are being attacked because you are becoming dangerous. Your presence, your clarity, your obedience, these things disrupt spiritual systems that relied on your confusion. Darkness counted on you, staying silent, staying uncertain, staying insecure. But now that your spirit is awakening, every area of your life is shifting, and darkness feels it. As revealed in the writings to the Corinthians, chapter 16, verse 9, "For a great door has opened to me, and there are many adversaries. Oh, Nothing exposes enemies like open doors. The moment a chosen one steps toward destiny, opposition rises, not to stop you, but because your movement threatens old strongholds. You've seen this in recent days. Doors begin to open opportunities, ideas, spiritual clarity, yet suddenly, unexpected problems surface. People act strangely. Old patterns try to reappear. Confusion tries to sneak back in. This is not coincidence. It is confirmation. Your anointing is stirring the atmosphere. When light increases, hidden things panic. When authority rises, resistance intensifies. When calling becomes visible, opposition becomes louder. It's not that you're doing something wrong. It's that you're doing something right. The enemy doesn't fight the future of someone who isn't going anywhere. He fights the future of someone who is stepping into divine appointment. You can always measure the size of your calling by the size of your resistance. Every time you grew spiritually, warfare increased. Every time you healed, old wounds tried to reopen. Every time you broke a pattern, another temptation appeared. Not because you were failing, but because you were breaking free. This resistance is not punishment. It is warfare that acknowledges your influence. And the more your anointing grows, the more sensitive you become to shifts in the spiritual realm. You sense tension before it appears. You feel heaviness before the attack arrives. You discern motives before words are spoken. This is not paranoia. This is spiritual awareness sharpened by destiny. Your discernment is no longer passive. It is active. It guards you. It warns you. It protects what heaven has placed inside you. Your anointing does not only provoke the enemy, it also exposes him. People with hidden agendas feel uncomfortable around you. Environments built on deception react to your presence. Individuals who once manipulated you can no longer influence your emotions. Your eyes are open now, and once a chosen one sees the truth, the enemy loses access. But resistance is also a sign that you are carrying something precious, something heaven trusts only a few. With anointing is weight, not décoration. It requires discipline, purity, humility, and spiritual awareness. And because you carry it, your life is not like everyone else's. You can't entertain what others entertain. You can't return to what others return to. You can't ignore what others ignore. Your spirit is too tuned, too elevated, too marked. And yes, this anointing makes you a target, but it also makes you unstoppable. The enemy cannot destroy what God has anointed. He can only distract, delay, or discourage. But you are past that stage. You recognize his tactics now. You know when he is attempting to distort your perception. You know when he is trying to plant fear. You know when he is attempting to provoke emotional reactions. You now respond with wisdom instead of panic, with discernment instead of impulse, with peace instead of fear. This is the evolution of someone who has been trained in the fire, sharpened in adversity, and strengthened through seasons that others would have collapsed under. And because of that, your anointing will continue to provoke resistance. But resistance is proof of movement, proof of progress, proof of growth. It is the shadow cast by your rising. It is the echo of your authority. It is the reaction to your spiritual weight. And you must remember this truth. The resistance you face does not mean turn back. It means push forward. It means you are in the right place. It means heaven is guiding you towards something powerful. You are not losing. You are lifting. You are not attacked because you are weak. You are attacked because you are chosen. And the heavier the resistance becomes, the higher the anointing is rising within you. You can already sense it, the air shifting around your life, the atmosphere tightening, the feeling that something unseen is preparing its final strike. This is the last push of darkness before breakthrough. The enemy always throws his strongest attack right before the chosen one reaches the door heaven prepared. Not because you are weak, but because you are too close to rising. This final strike does not always look violent. Sometimes it looks emotional. Sometimes it looks like sudden discouragement. Sometimes it appears as confusion out of nowhere. Sometimes it arrives through a person, a memory, a fear, or a temptation you thought you left behind. But its purpose is the same: to shake what God has settled inside you. The ancient words in the book of Nehemiah, chapter 6, verse 9, reveal the tactic with sharp clarity. They all tried to frighten us, thinking, their hands will get too weak for the work. Alu, but I prayed. Now strengthen my hands. Alu. The ancient words in the book of Nehemiah, chapter 6, verse 9, reveal the tactic with sharp clarity. They all tried to frighten us, thinking, their hands will get too weak for the work. Alu, but I prayed. Now strengthen my hands. Alu. Before every blessing, there was a storm. Darkness always panics before destiny manifests. So if you feel pressure right now, don't misinterpret it. This is not the end. This is the threshold. This is not collapse. This is transition. This is not rejection. This is redirection. This is not punishment. This is preparation. The last strike always tests three things. Your focus. Will you stay fixed on what God told you, or be distracted by noise? Your stability. Will you stand still when the enemy shakes your mind? Your faith. Will you trust God when nothing makes sense? And with every test, something becomes clear. You are not who you used to be. The old version of you would have broken. The old version panicked. The old version begged for escape. But this version is rising with strength that surprises even you. This is exactly what is happening to you. The enemy thinks if he can intimidate you, distract you, or exhaust you, you will abandon what you were born to build. He hopes you will step back. He hopes you will doubt yourself. He hopes the pressure will feel too heavy, the silence too long, the waiting too painful. But heaven is strengthening your hands. You've noticed something. Right before every breakthrough, there was chaos. Before every elevation, there was warfare. This space, these words, think of them like a lantern carried beside you in a long, dark valley. A soft light, steady enough to keep you from stumbling. If this lantern helped you see your path, even in small ways, you may choose to help lift it so others find their way too. You can like, share, and subscribe the way someone lifts a lantern higher on a hill, letting its glow reach those wandering in shadows. These actions are not duties. They are quiet extensions of light. You've survived too much to crumble now. As the pressure builds, heaven is drawing near. You may not always feel it, but you are being carried through something holy, intense, transforming. The battlefield is loud, but your spirit is stronger. The shadows restless, but your clarity awakening. The enemy striking, but your anointing rising. And here, in this sacred moment, hear this softly, because you are not walking through this alone. Even a tiny flame can help someone else find courage on their darkest night. Because right now, the final strike of darkness gathers around you, yet you are rising above it with a strength, heaven long prepared. You are not collapsing, you are crossing over. You are not breaking, you are being finished. You are becoming the version of yourself destiny requires. Nothing, no attack. Nolye. No storm can stop a chosen one whose spirit refuses to bow. You are stepping into victory. You are closer than you think. You are stronger than you know. And heaven is closer than ever. You will walk forward with a steadiness unfamiliar to your past self. A calm that comes from knowing the battle shaped you rather than shattered you. This is new strength. And as you continue rising, heaven will align opportunities, voies, and pathways meant only for the version of you born from this victory. Your future is already shifting in your favor. Something has been shifting inside you quietly, steadily, almost imperceptibly at first. But now, it is undeniable. You are beginning to step into the assignment heaven marked for you long before you had language for it. For years, you carried pieces of this calling without understanding their purpose. You felt the pull without knowing the destination. You sensed the weight without recognizing its name. But now, the full picture is starting to emerge, and everything in your life is aligning around it. Divine assignments rarely arrive with fanfare. They come through whispers, burdens, convictions, and moments when your spirit feels restless without explanation. They reveal themselves in the things you can't ignore anymore, the injustices that stir you, the people you feel drawn to help, the wounds you feel compelled to heal in others, the truth you cannot stay silent about. You can't return to what others return to. You can't ignore what others ignore. Your spirit is too tuned, too elevated, too marked. And yes, this anointing makes you a target, but it also makes you unstoppable. The enemy cannot destroy what God has anointed. He can only distract, delay, or discourage. But you are past that stage. You recognize his tactics now. You know when he is attempting to distort your perception. You know when he is trying to plant fear. The Spirit spoke through the writings in the book of Esther, chapter 4, verse 14, leaving a message for every chosen one, stepping into purpose. And who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this. You feel the weight of those words now, not as a question, but as a confirmation. You are here for a reason. You survived for a reason. You awakened for a reason. And every moment in your life, every heartbreak, every delay, every lesson was positioning you for an assignment bigger than your comfort. Stepping into divine assignment is not about perfection. It is about willingness. Heaven does not wait for flawless vessels, only surrendered ones. And surrender is exactly what has been forming inside you. Even in seasons when you didn't fully realize it, surrender is built when you let go of what is familiar. Surrender is built when you stop negotiating with old versions of yourself. Surrender is built when you choose growth over ease. You have reached that point. Your spirit is leaning forward. Your discernment is sharper. Your fears no longer paralyze you. Your wounds no longer mute your voice. You are stepping into the version of yourself that heaven always knew you would become. And with this step comes clarity. You start to understand why certain doors closed so painfully because they would have distracted you from your assignment. You understand why certain people were removed because they could not follow you into purpose. You understand why certain battles were unavoidable because they were training you for what is ahead. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was random. Everything was preparation. Divin assignment requiert séparation. And you've endured your share of it. People misunderstood you. Relationships shifted. Connections faded. Your path narrowed. Your priorities changed. These changes were not losses, they were alignments. Heaven was reorganizing your life to create room for what was coming. The calling over your life needed space to breathe. And now, you're beginning to feel the unmistakable pull of destiny. You sense when to speak and when to stay silent. You feel when something is meant for you and when it's not. Your spirit recognizes opportunities. Your mind doesn't have words for. This is because your assignment is no longer ahead of you. It is unfolding beneath your feet. Stepping into divine purpose is not dramatic. It is steady. It is intentional. It is sacred. It is the quiet recognition that your life no longer belongs to fear, to regret, to confusion, or to the cycles you once survived. It belongs to heaven's design, and with purpose comes responsibility. Not the exhausting kind, but the holy kind, the kind that gives your days meaning, your choices weight, your prayers fire. You begin to live differently. You think differently. You guard your spirit differently. You invest your time differently, because everything in your life now moves with purpose. You will also notice that heaven begins to trust you with more insight, more clarity, more revelation, more influence. Not for ego, but for assignment. Not for popularity, but for impact. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to carry light into places where others settled for shadows. This is why your journey has felt so intense. Heaven invests heavily in those with significant assignments. The molding was painful because the mission is powerful. And now, you stand at the doorway of that mission, not timidly, not fearfully, but with the quiet authority of someone who knows they were chosen. Stepping into divine assignment means stepping into alignment, courage, clarity, and obedience. It means letting heaven guide your steps. It means embracing your purpose without shrinking. It means living as the vessel you were always destined to be. You are not stepping into something small. You are stepping into something eternal, something heaven scripted, something generations may benefit from, something only you could carry. You feel it before you see it, the quiet shift inside your spirit, the lightness in your chest, the sense that something heavy has finally broken off your life. It's subtle, but unmistakable. The atmosphere around you is different. The weight that once clung to your shoulders no longer feels anchored. This is what victory feels like for a chosen one. Not loud, not dramatic, but deep, steady, permanent. There are victories that come from effort, and there are victories that come from transformation. What you are stepping into now is the second kind. This is not the kind of victory where you simply escape an attack. This is the kind where you rise into a version of yourself that makes old attacks powerless. It is the kind of victory that marks you forever. The ancient words recorded in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 37, declare a truth you now understand in your bones. In all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. For so long, you questioned whether this kind of strength was inside you. You wondered if you would ever feel stable, steady, unshakable. You doubted whether you could overcome the cycles, wounds, and spiritual storms that seemed designed to break you. But now, as you look back, truly look back, you realize something astonishing. You didn't just survive. You outgrew what was sent to destroy you. There is a maturity in your spirit now, a groundedness that was not there before. Your reactions have changed. Your discernment has deepened. Your peace has thickened like armor. You respond differently, move differently, see differently. That is the mark of true victory. It rewrites your reflexes. It transforms your instincts. It alters your spiritual posture. The battles that once frightened you no longer have the same power. You've learned to recognize spiritual patterns before they form. You've learned to sense danger before it manifests. You've learned to catch lies before they settle in your mind. This is what spiritual authority feels like, not arrogance, but certainty. The certainty that comes when you know heaven has engraved victory into your identity. And now, you begin to notice how differently life responds to the new you. People sense your strength before you speak. Atmospheres shift when you walk in. Conversations take a different tone around you. Even the enemy approaches you with hesitation now. For the first time, darkness knows you are not the same opponent. You are not fragile anymore. You are not easily shaken. You are not easily misled. You are not easily pulled backward. Your spirit has become fortified. But victory is not only about what you overcame. It's also about what you stepped into. You now carry wisdom you didn't have before. You carry clarity that wasn't accessible in your earlier seasons. You carry emotional stability born from nights of wrestling. You carry spiritual sensitivity sharpened through storms. Every scar has become instruction. Every loss has become insight. Every trial has become training. And because of this, you are stepping into a future that looks nothing like your past. The version of you that walks forward now does so with deeper confidence, stronger faith, and a steadier heart. You no longer fight blindly, you fight with knowledge. You no longer fear the unknown, you face it with God's presence burning inside you. This victory also marks you with something rare, spiritual calm. Not the calm that comes from lack of conflict, but the calm that comes from knowing who you are in every conflict. You no longer internalize storms. You no longer mistake delay for denial. You no longer confuse pressure with punishment. Your spirit has matured into discernment, and that discernment gives you peace. You are not rising as someone barely holding on. You are rising as someone strengthened by everything you've survived. You are rising as someone who understands that destiny is not fragile. You are rising as someone heaven can trust with more. And this is why this victory marks you forever. It changed your identity, not just your circumstances. It awakened the warrior, the leader, the intercessor, the protector, the trailblazer, the chosen one inside you. From this moment forward, battles will come. Yes, but you will face them differently. You will fight from victory, not for victory. You will move as someone crowned, not someone crawling. You will walk as someone who knows that every step forward is backed by heaven. You are marked now, marked by strength, marked by clarity, marked by endurance, marked by identity, marked by the undeniable truth that you rose when everything tried to bury you. You are not just victorious, you are transformed. And this transformation will echo through every chapter of your future. You've come a long way through this journey, deeper than you expected, further than you imagined. If you pause for just a moment, you can feel it, the quiet shift inside you, the clarity sitting in your chest, the strength rising beneath the surface. Something in you is different now. This message didn't simply speak to you, it awakened something in you. And that awakening is the beginning of a new chapter. As you step forward from here, think of this space, these words, this voice, this sanctuary as a small lantern you carried through a long night. If it brought you warmth, guidance, or strength, then you can choose to help this light continue glowing for others who are still walking their hardest path. You can like, share, or subscribe the way someone gently opens a window at dawn, letting the first light spill into rooms where hope has been sleeping. It's not a duty, not an expectation, just a soft gesture that helps the light travel farther. And if your heart feels stirred, you may even choose to leave a comment, not as noise, but as a seed. Your words can become a quiet lantern placed along the trail, guiding someone who reads them at the exact moment they need courage. Even a short comment can hold the power to steady another soul. If your spirit ever whispers that you want to support this work more deeply, you may also donate. Picture it as placing a small log into a communal fire, not because the fire demands it, but because you want others to feel the warmth that once reached you. A simple act, freely chosen, beautifully given, helping the flame stay bright for the next wandering heart. Whether you support with action, with presence, or simply by listening, know this: you are part of this light now. And wherever you go next, carry your strength with you. You've earned it.